Top 3 Scariest American Street Horror Stories. Warning, this is not just a story. It is a curse, a nightmare waiting to follow you long after you've heard it. If you're brave enough to continue, remember you've been warned. There are some places in America, streets hidden in plain sight, that no one dares to talk about. They're forgotten on maps, forgotten in history, but they're not forgotten by the souls trapped there. Do you think you're safe? Think again. You're about to step into the darkness, where the line between the living and the dead is thin, and once you cross it, there's no turning back. Story 1. The Hollow Streets of Hawthorne Lane. Hawthorne Lane looks like any other quiet, suburban street. Tree-lined, peaceful, almost charming. But something's off. At night, when the sun dips below the horizon, the air grows colder, unnaturally cold. And the houses, they're not homes. They're empty shells. It was a late summer evening when Emily and her friends dared each other to walk down Hawthorne Lane. The fog rolled in thick and fast, swallowing up everything in its path. As they reached the end of the lane, they saw something. No, someone. A figure standing motionless by the old oak tree. At first, they thought it was a mannequin or a stranger waiting for a ride. But as they drew closer, the figure moved. Slowly. Its head turned towards them, and for a split second, Emily could see its eyes, black as coal, with no pupils, no whites, just endless voids. And then the figure spoke. "You're too late." The moment the words left its mouth, the ground beneath their feet trembled. The streetlights flickered and died, one by one, as if they were afraid to witness what was about to unfold. Emily's friends screamed as the figure advanced, but Emily stood frozen. She could hear a low whisper coming from the shadows, and for the first time in her life, she knew that something beyond death was watching them. Then everything went silent. The fog thickened. And when Emily woke up, she was alone in the middle of the street. The trees swayed in the wind, but her friends were gone, vanished without a trace. Not a sound. Not a scream. Only the hollow echo of footsteps behind her. Story 2. The Phantom of Cedar Grove. Everyone in the small town of Cedar Grove knows the story of the old bridge. Legend has it that a young girl, Lydia, drowned there a century ago. But no one mentions the other part of the story, the part where Lydia didn't die. They say if you stand on the bridge at midnight and look into the water, Lydia's reflection will appear. But if you blink just once, you'll see her face change. Her eyes will stretch, her mouth will open wide, and she'll begin to scream, but it won't be just a scream. It'll be your scream. Carter had heard the stories, but like most people, he thought they were just that, stories. His friends dared him to stand on the bridge, so he did. The water was still, the night air eerily silent. But as the clock struck midnight, Carter saw it. Lydia's reflection staring back at him. And then she blinked. Carter tried to look away, but something forced him to stay. Her eyes bulged and twisted, her mouth grew wider and wider. He opened his mouth to scream, but nothing came out. Instead, he felt something pulling him, tugging him toward the water. And just before he lost consciousness, he saw Lydia's reflection, grinning from ear to ear, her lips whispering his name. When they found Carter's body 2 days later, it was not in the water. It was lying in the middle of the bridge, face twisted in terror. His mouth was wide open, but no scream escaped. Story 3. The Unseen Road of Eldridge Avenue. Eldridge Avenue is the road people take when they're trying to escape. It's the shortcut that never seems to end, even though it's supposed to. Most people who've driven down it, though, never return. Tom had heard the rumors, but as a skeptic, he didn't believe in anything supernatural. One evening, when he was returning from a late-night drive, he decided to take Eldridge Avenue as a shortcut. As he entered the road, the air grew colder, the trees looming higher and higher, their branches twisted like gnarled fingers reaching for him. The headlights of his car flickered, and the music from his stereo cut out. Everything felt wrong, but he couldn't turn back. Something was pulling him forward. Then the road seemed to split, stretching infinitely ahead of him as though it had no end. Tom's car began to slow, the engine sputtering and dying. He stepped out, thinking the car had simply broken down. But as soon as he did, the world around him shifted. The trees were taller, the air thicker. And there, at the end of the road, he saw it. A figure. Tall, thin, with limbs that stretched unnaturally long like a spider's legs. It stepped forward, closer, and Tom felt an overwhelming terror grip his heart. The creature spoke in a voice that echoed in his mind, not his ears. "You should have never come here. There is no turning back." Tom tried to run, but the road twisted, spiraling in on itself. No matter which way he turned, he couldn't escape. The darkness closed in, suffocating him. The creature's laughter echoed around him, endless and hollow. And then the final words rang in his ears. "Now you're one of us. You've listened to these stories, but you're not alone anymore. The thing is, it's not over. The moment you press play, you crossed a line. The curse has been cast, and it will follow you, watching from the shadows. It might be behind you right now, just out of sight. Perhaps it's just waiting for you to blink. If you value your sanity, if you want to escape this nightmare before it consumes you, subscribe to this channel. The only way to protect yourself now is to stay in the light, stay connected to this place. Keep the darkness at bay, for now. But remember, the more you know about these cursed streets, the more they know about you. And they're coming. Do you think you can outrun them? Think again. Subscribe before it's too late.